Welcome back to Your Southern Lesbian. I am Ashley Hydrick, your Southern Lesbian. So this week I want to talk to y'all about people pleasing. From dating patterns and adult relationships that I've seen, here is the core idea that I've had to wrap my brain around and that I'm trying to convey to y'all, which is it's not my job to please everybody. It is my job to get into alignment with the highest version of myself and be the biggest, best Ashley that I know how to be in her truest form, and I'll let her freak flag fly in every way I need to and show my true colors and be my true self, right? So that the people that are meant to stay will stay and the people that will go will go. Growing up gay in the South, there was a lot of people pleasing, as I'm sure y'all can attest to as well if you grew up gay anywhere. Especially as a Gen X kid, we weren't allowed to walk around with our rainbow shirts on and our little mugs. We had to keep parts of ourselves hidden, as we've talked about. So unfortunately, that leads to this belief somewhere in our little pea brains that as we grow older and get to be in adult relationships, that we should still keep silent maybe about other things, right? Or at least it did for me. That came up a few times in relationships. And well, no, Brimhilda, don't do that. Basically, hiding parts of yourself so nobody would get uncomfortable is what it really boiled down to. You don't want to cause problems, do you? Well, it's not your job to worry about how somebody else is feeling. Because let's be real, if you're constantly adjusting yourself to make everybody else comfortable, how do you even know who in the heck you are? How do you know how to express your own needs, your own desires? And when we contort ourselves to create these versions of ourselves that other people like, it's not even real. Like, what's that based on? What they're really falling in love with is a version of you that doesn't really exist. So number one, alignment just feels different, right? I'll read you the little definition I got here. Alignment is when your actions, boundaries, and energy reflect your truest self. Well, for this lesbian, that means I want to go to pickleball a couple times a week. I freaking love it. I want to be able to go for walks in nature. I love horses. I love dogs. I'm vegan. I stick to organic eating. I go gluten-free as much as I possibly humanly can. I like certain types of music. I love to ride horses. I don't want to date anybody who doesn't love dogs. So anyway, there's all these things that make me me, right? And make you you. So when you're living in alignment, let's say that somebody comes along who is allergic to dogs. What are you going to do if you're like me, you're a lesbian who loves dogs? Well, that's going to be a tough one because either she's going to have to take some Zyrtec. Maybe I'll make a concession. The dog won't sleep in the bed with me. Fine. But I do love dogs and they're going to be around. Period. End of story. So that's something I'm just not willing to budge on. Talked about this a couple weeks ago, right? Our non-negotiables. Like, if I say I don't want to kiss an ashtray and you come strolling up to me with a cigarette dangling from your lips, that doesn't work for me. The right people will recognize and resonate with this. And the wrong ones fall away. And that's not rejection, y'all. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not rejection. That is exactly what's supposed to happen. It's what's meant to be. And I've spent way too much time at this point in my life resisting that. And I think there are a few of y'all out there that have had the same mentality that I've had, that when something's not completely in alignment, and maybe we've never recognized it as that, maybe we just feel somebody pulling away from us and it triggers all these things inside that, all these childhood emotions come back and all these fear of abandonment. If you had something bad happen as a child or you're from a family of divorced parents like I was, it hurt a lot when I woke up one day and one of my parents wasn't there, so I grew up with these abandonment wounds and not even realizing what they were. So when those people start to fall away, that is the universe in action going, this doesn't belong with you. Let that one go sit over here and be happy with this, somebody else. And you wait to see who magnetizes to you. So in dating, if you keep quiet about things that are red flags to you or that just don't work for you, you're betraying yourself. And that's a horrible feeling. In your family, if you're always keeping quiet or sweeping things under the rug, as we called it in the South, keeping the peace, not disrupting the family, you're carrying their comfort at the expense of your own peace. Same thing at work. If you're saying yes to every creative project, but it drains you and doesn't leave you energy for the things that really light you up because you're afraid to say no to your boss or that client, because you want to stay liked, that's a really hard one. And I get it. Maybe you need the money, but just what I'm saying. Just The more you can stay aligned with the projects that are really you, the more the next ones will find you, because people will see like, oh, she really seemed to enjoy working on that. I'm going to give her another project like that. What I'd really like to do here is reframe this idea of the fear of losing people as we walk back into dating, right? Because this is what stops a lot of y'all from going out there and dating, I think. Instead of saying, if you lose them, if you set a boundary, let's say, and you lose them or they walk away, they choose to leave, rather than looking at it as, oh, I set this boundary and it caused them to leave. No, I want us to reframe that as, if I set this boundary, which is me honoring myself and wanting to attract the right people into my life, and they walk away, they were never meant to stay. That is the universe protecting me for that next person who is meant to come in. Like I used to always say, this or something better, this or something better. And I mean that very much. And I don't mean better in the sense of like, this one's a better human than this one, or a better, whatever. It's just a better fit. That's what I mean by that. And I do mean that. A couple of good journal prompts for you today might be something like, where am I shrinking to be liked? What does alignment feel like in my body? And start recognizing, ask yourself like, who feels lighter around me when I'm fully myself? Because you'll start to notice, if you start looking at it through that lens and really pay attention, you'll notice like, God, I really love this person and we've got all this history together, a friend or somebody, right? But every time you get off the phone, you feel like just a bit drained. You shouldn't feel that way. You shouldn't feel that way. So start to notice the people that when you hang out with them, you feel like your true self. You feel lighter. You feel like you can express that side of you that really is you. Those are the types of people you want to attract in your life, and the same thing in your dating life. So this is short and sweet this week, but I'm just going to leave you with this. The ones that are meant to stay with you don't need you to perform. They need you to be fully you, and they're going to appreciate the you that's full of you. All right, y'all. So again, here to remind you, you're not too old, you're not too late, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And thank you again so much for showing up this week. If you made it this far to the end of the video, would you mind? I'd love to see who's actually watching. Like I said, I'm just talking to the camera. I don't know what y'all look like. I don't know who you are. If you made it this far in the video, do you mind just drop a nut in the comments down below so I can see who's listening out there? I see the numbers, but I don't know. I don't know if y'all make it this far. I don't know what's happening. If this resonates with you, I'd just like to know. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. It does help me so much. It helps me because subscriber numbers help me, and it helps you because you never miss an episode, which is great. And I'd also like to remind y'all, if you're not there already, the TikTok community, y'all, they're a hot mess over there. But Your Southern Lesbian TikTok community is fun. People do interact with each other on the pages, and there's a lot of wife shopping in the comments. I can't control that, but that's what's happening. So feel free, have at it, come over, join the conversation there. It's a little bit different than it is here. Anyway, y'all have a fantastic week. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you next week. Just a reminder, y'all, I'm not a doctor. Everything I share here is for entertainment and encouragement, not medical advice. The views you hear are mine or my guests, not my sponsors. Any similarity to real people is purely coincidence.